A sinking fund is money set aside for a specific purpose. Businesses, organizations, even the government use sinking funds all the time to manage multi-million dollar budgets. And I'm going to show you the 4 areas that you can use sinking funds to better manage your household's finances. Another word for sinking fund is earmarking, or some people may call it a holding account. It's all the same thing. I'm going to be using the term sinking fund because that's how I learned it, and I like the way it sounds. I like the idea of, filling something up so that you can drain it back out, right? Saving so that you can spend intentionally. There are 4 sinking fund categories that every single mom needs to have, and they're going to help really save you time, money, and emotional energy, because these are things that are going to come up that you're not going to have to worry about because you're prepared in these areas. The first one is your car. Cars can just be, they cost so much money and they're so necessary, but they can just hit you out of nowhere. Like, you could just be driving your car and then all of a sudden it's making a sound, or all of a sudden a light comes on and you're like, what? I'm not prepared to deal with this. The car's supposed to be working. Well, guess what? Cars break. Cars lose value. These are things that we know. And because of that, we need to be prepared. Like, if you buy a car tomorrow, you need to go ahead and start a sinking fund to repair and or replace that car the very next day. Like, that's how serious having a sinking fund for your vehicle is, because we already know that these cars are not going to do what they're supposed to do. Okay. Not forever. Even things like routine maintenance, right? Making sure that you're getting your oil change every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, making sure that you're getting your tires rotated, that you're getting your tires replaced, making sure that you're getting your wheels balanced and your rotors rotated and your brakes, all the things. We have to be ready for these things, right? Because if we're keeping up with the maintenance of our car, we can make it last longer, right? But if we're not keeping up with the maintenance of our car, we may feel like we're saving some money because we're not spending the money on the maintenance, but in the long run, it's detrimental to us because the car doesn't last as long, right? So you want to make sure that you're saving up money for the maintenance of your vehicle. If you've had your car for a while, then you can really literally like just go back through your accounts or through your receipts if you've kept them. How much have I spent on this vehicle over the last year or the last 2 years? And just divide that out. Find the average of how much money you spent and just start working towards saving that much money in an account specifically for your car. The other thing is replacing your vehicle. You need to plan to replace your car. If you're debt-free or you're working towards becoming debt-free, you don't want a vehicle loan to be the thing that draws you back into debt, especially not when you can be preparing for that starting today. So what you need to do is decide, okay, the next car that I get, how much money do I really want to spend on a car? How much money can I afford to spend on a car? If you're working on getting out of debt, you may just want to save $5,000 to $7,000 so that you can buy a car that's reliable enough to get you around, but it's not going to break the bank or raise your expenses too high that you end up having to, slow down on your debt payoff progress. You can open up a separate savings account or a money market account to put those funds in for your car. Sinking fund number 2 is clothes. We need to be putting money aside for the clothes, okay? If you're anything like me, I don't go shopping every month. I will buy clothing for special occasions or things like that, but I typically shop seasonally. And so what that means is when it's time for me to go shopping, instead of dipping into or creating an expense item that is going to eat at my paycheck for the month, what I do is already go ahead and start setting aside money during the months where I'm not purchasing. So let's say, for instance, you shop quarterly and you save $50 a month. Well, over the course of those 3 months, now you got $150 that you can go out and shop with. And you just use that 150 during that one shopping trip. You get what you need and you go on about your business. If you need something in between, still the money is there, but you're deciding this is how much money I need to allocate towards clothing. And even though I may not be buying clothes every month, I'm still going to set the money aside so that it is there and available when I need to access it and it is being used for this specific purpose, right? So if your homegirl pops up and is like, hey girl, come on, you want to go with me to the such and so, I got tickets to this or whatever. And you're like, okay, cool. Oh, but I don't have anything to wear. Well, you don't have to now dip into your paycheck for that. You've already been setting aside money for clothes. So you could just say, you know what? I'm going to use some of my money to purchase an outfit for this special occasion, or I'm going to use my money to purchase some shoes for this particular outing. This is a great place to use cash. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to go to an ATM and to just put your card in and get the cash out and put it in an envelope and keep it in your safe. This is especially helpful for those of us who, when we see money in our bank account, our brains can't quite compute that the money is not available to spend, right? We see the money in our bank account and we say, oh, I have money. In this case, you want to make sure that money is in a place that it's going to be safe and secure. It's not going to get mixed up with your spending money that you have in your bank account. Now, there are some of us who can just do the math in our head and we know how much money is for clothes and how much money is for the rest of our expenditures. But I like to do cash for clothes also because it helps me limit my spending as well. If I go out and I have $150 cash, then if I get to the register and my total is $160, then I got to find $10 worth of something to leave there in TJ Maxx. Another good area for cash is going to be expenses related to your kids. Okay? Because when these kids go to school, they have all kinds of activities that pop up. The PTA needs this or that. There's dues, there's class parties, there's just all of these little things. When I first started getting my budget together and really started following a budgeting process early in my single parenting journey, I was so happy and so proud of myself because I was like, okay, you got this budgeting thing down. And I was doing the zero-based budgeting. So my budget was hitting zero every month. And then my daughter comes home with a little red folder from school talking about, can you send $20 for the field trip? And I'm like, I didn't set aside nobody's $20 for a field trip. No, I can't send you $20 for the field trip. No. Of course, I sent them the $20 for the field trip, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? I didn't have that in my mind and in my budget. And so when it comes to things for our kids, I'm not saying go overboard and just, you don't have to have hundreds or thousands of dollars set aside for kids things. It doesn't have to be $20 or $50 every month, but just $20 to $50 that's just always at hand so that when something comes up at school, because something is going to come up at school, you have the money there and you can access it. And the fourth and final sinking fund that every single mom needs to have, drum roll please. I can't hear y'all, but I know you drum rolling, okay? Christmas. Christmas comes every year, the same day of the year, and somehow we're all mystified and not understanding and not prepared for Christmas. Why? Just like with a car, you can estimate how much money you want to spend for Christmas the day after Christmas. Okay? You can say, okay, this year I spent $1,200 on Christmas. So what does that mean? That means starting in January, I'm saving $100 a month for Christmas expenses, right? It is so easy to do, but it's the furthest thing from our minds usually because we're constantly in a state of playing catch up. We're constantly in a state of just trying to catch our breath. And so when you're trying to catch your breath, it's difficult for you to plan ahead. But by doing this, you are planning ahead and you are preparing yourself for what is to come. And so when Christmas rolls around, or even when October rolls around, you're already ready to purchase Christmas gifts. You're already ready to refresh your decorations. So what a sinking fund really boils down to is being proactive in your finances. It is not waiting for something to pop up on you and then now you have to react to it. It is saying, okay, what are the things coming up in my life that I'm going to have to pay for, that I'm going to need money for, that I can go ahead and start saving for those things now? And understanding that by doing so, you're setting yourself up for a better financial future. So you don't have to borrow money when you've saved the money for this particular purpose. You may be in a position where you feel like, I can't set up a sinking fund because I don't have the money to draw from here or pull from there. I don't have any wiggle room in my budget, or I don't have any wiggle room in my finances. I'm encouraging you, take the time to sit down and write out your budget. Take the time to sit down and go through your expenses and determine what are the areas that I need to pull back in. What's eating up all my money, right? And sit down with a financial coach. Click that link in the description box and set up some time with me, sis. Let's go over your money. Let's go over your finances. Let's see what needs to be tightened up so you can get to a better place financially, because I promise you, this robbing Peter to pay Paul and scrapping and scraping to get by, that ain't it, sis. We're not about that life. If we've been about that life, we're no longer about that life. It's time to make a change in our finances. And I'm here to tell you, it is possible. It is possible. You can do this, but it has to be done with intention. It's not just going to haphazardly, just fly out of the sky and then just be like, oh, yay, I can do it now. No, it's going to take the effort and the energy on your part to get that ball rolling. But once it's rolling, once you get those concepts down, you're going to be so happy that you did. I'm already happy because I feel like this is going to bless somebody. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please send this to a friend, to a sister of yours who you know needs this. And let me know in the comments what you've picked up from this particular video. Are you using any sinking funds right now? And how is that working out for you? Thank you again. Be blessed. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.